Okay, we're back and we're talking about the process that's been going on at City Hall yesterday and today. Deputants appearing before the councillors. Toronto City Councillor Sarah Doucette is down, in fact, at City Hall, and she's called us up to tell us what the heck is going on there. Sarah, what is going on?
Good evening, Dale.
Hi.
First of all, I want to thank you for having me on your show last night.
No problem. Glad to have you.
Just want to let everyone know that we got through all the deputants.
Really?
Wow. Oh, good.
Well done, I guess.
With 45 minutes to spare.
Really? Well, that's great. And now that it's all done, what's your assessment of the process?
Well, first of all, I did want to thank your 3 deputants you have in the studio tonight. Only being a councillor for 1 year, I learn a lot at these.
Yeah.
I learn about shelters I didn't know about. I listen to suggestions which we maybe hadn't thought of. So I learned something from this, and I'm sure a lot of Torontonians learned something from this. Mm-hmm. I hate to say it, and I think Shelley may agree with me, I'm not sure how many of the Budget Committee learn much from this. I would love to see them more attentive, particularly the new councillors. Mm-hmm. This is still a learning curve for all of us.
Well, how do you know they weren't attentive?
You can tell by
Ask the deputants.
Their facial features, by whether they're in the room or not.
Well, I guess if you're not in the room, you're certainly not attentive, are you?
Well, we can watch from our offices. I will grant them
well,
that.
All right, fair enough. Yes, you could. Yeah.
But I don't believe they are all learning as much as we could or listening as much as we should.
Well, are you gently suggesting that maybe this process, as far as some politicians are concerned, is not being taken seriously enough?
I agree. I did deputations. Before I was a councillor, I used to come down to City Hall and do deputations. Uh-huh. And my feeling when I walked in the room was decisions were already made. Mm-hmm. Now, I do agree that for some councillors, no, they don't know exactly which way they're voting. But for many of them, they know exactly what's going to be happening in January.
Yeah. Sarah, thank you very much for wrapping this all up for us. I appreciate it.
No problem, and thank you for listening to me, and thank you very much to the deputants.
Well, we always listen to you, not to worry about that. We listen to all the politicians at City Hall whenever they deign to come on this program and talk about things. Let me listen to some callers. Shall we listen to some callers? Here's Tom calling from Toronto. Tom, what are your thoughts about this whole process? What do you think?
Well, I think you have a friend of mine, David Smith, up there speaking for us.
Oh, you're in the
1673 Kingston Road.
The Birchmount residence.
Yes, sir. That's where I live.
All right.
And I'm pleased to know.
Quiet, please. Can we let the caller?
I'm just so excited to hear Tom, Dale.
All right, but just control your enthusiasm. Go ahead, Tom. What did you want to tell us?
Well, I was just going to ask for some help. I mean, you probably got your tree up and some presents under it already. We have nothing. And what are you going to do for Christmas dinner with your family? You know, you've got places to go, family to see. The only thing we have are the people in here, and God help the ones that don't have family on the outside. Mm-hmm. And most of us don't. And thanks to David being on your program today, it helps us immensely, simply because of the fact that we're trying to get the attention put upon us, and where are we going with this nonsense about you have to wait for a vote on such and such a day when you find out some of the people that are voting for you or against you, they've gone off on Christmas holidays.
Well, and so you're left wondering what's going to happen in your future, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I have no idea if I'm still going to have a place to sleep a month from now. Yeah. You know, and that's not fair because most of the men here are on pensions, disability pensions and old age pensions. And what we've done here is we've been self-sufficient with helping paying the staff members' salaries here and just working with them. They help us a lot. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not all constant there. Some of the gentlemen here are completely in a world of their own. Yeah. Some of them need help not just physical help. They
So
need mental help.
so then, Tom, aside from the fact you're worried about whether or not the residents will be there in the future, you're not getting the kind of help for the men in the residence right now.
Well, we get quite a bit of help, considering, but some of them, unfortunately, don't get the help they require.
Yeah.
Because there are several mental problems here with some patients, and we have some physical problems.
All right, Tom, thank you very much for phoning in. David, what would you like to add to what Tom had to say?
Well, thanks for phoning in, Tom. I really appreciate it. He's absolutely right. We have no idea what's going on. A lot of us are in the dark right now. A lot of the councillors, they say, well, yeah, close the shelter. You know, what's a senior shelter? Well, I like to challenge them. You come to my house, I'll show you my house, and I'll show you the gentlemen that are in there. I'll give you a tour prior to you making your vote, between here and Christmas, whenever you want. Come in. I'll show you where we live and what we have.
Have any councillors done that?
The only one I've seen there is Mr. Gary Crawford. He's the councillor from Scarborough Southwest.
Okay.
Extremely helpful with us. He's backed us 100%. So these gentlemen and ladies that are on the budget committee and that, come on down. I'll show you what we have. I'll show you the people in the building. You won't believe what we have there. Before you make your vote, come and talk to us. Come and see us, please.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, David. Let's go to Bill calling from Toronto. Bill, what do you think? What are your thoughts about what's going on at City Hall?
Well, I've been working for the city for about 30 years, and since I started till now, the workforce has been reduced, but management has blown up to ridiculous numbers, and nothing's ever been done. They've been playing the shell game with supervisors and managers for the last 30 years, and you want to make savings, you want to save money, start cutting from the top. This is ridiculous. You cannot run a private industry with one supervisor supervising 3 people or 4 people. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's just a pathetic joke. Really, it is.
So these are management people that really don't have enough to do in a given day. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, what private industry will have one person supervising 3 people? Where? Where? Tell me.
I know it's a pretty good question, Bill. I don't know. Thanks very much for your call. Now, Shelley, we've heard that before. That's still, in fact, a common complaint about the so-called middle management. Was enough attention paid to that?
No, I don't think, and you could never stop paying attention to that.
Yeah.
That's the piece you have to look at every year. But instead, again, we're building this budget on ideology. We have to contract out everything that's not tied down. But first of all, the contracts aren't free. You're still paying someone. You're lowering the quality of those jobs. But it means that you're actually going to build in more management. What you'll see in that budget is we're going to save on this contract. And oh, by the way, I need 2 new contract managers. So again, you end up with a top-heavy organization built on engineers and highly qualified management. You need some management, but each year, that's the work of the Budget Committee, chipping away at that. I'm afraid the reason that David hasn't seen many people coming out to do a site visit and understand what they're proposing is that they didn't see this budget till the same day I saw it, and I'm not on the committee. Yeah. They were quite surprised to find people walking into the deputation room yesterday to talk about student nutrition. They didn't realize that it was a component of a partnership program they cut. So the type of detailed review that's long been promised, even though in fact it did used to happen, has stopped happening, and now you see these kinds of superficial ideology-based reductions, not management reductions.
You know, democracy is a wonderful thing, and it's good that people can appear before council and tell them what's really going on. It's a bit amazing, I think, Mark Richardson, that council might not have known of some of these circumstances before some of you showed up to tell them about it. You would think they would be properly briefed on everything that was going on.
Oh, but they're happy to hear from these citizens. But Bill just told us about a very serious issue in our corporation. But if he disclosed at the beginning of his deputation that he works in the city, they stopped listening. The minute he started speaking.
We're debating whether or not they're listening that seriously.
And that is a very serious issue.
Mark, what do you think of this?
Well, I think that middle management provide an important role in government. they diffuse responsibility and protect politicians, and they protect other managers.
Well, good for them, right?
Good for them, but that's what they're there for. You know, they send
Well, I don't know how that helps me as a citizen. How does that help you as a citizen?
It's not designed to help you as a citizen, right?
Well, then we got to change it, don't we?
Yeah.
Carol, we got to change that then, right?
Yes, I think so. We've gotten away from the city being responsive to the people who live here. And now it seems like the hierarchy, the city council, is its own little club, and all of the rest of us are outside. That's why I said we went and we said what we had to say, but I have no feeling that it got into that. It
sunk in, as it were.
No.
Right. And there are clubs within clubs, of course, as well at City Hall.
It aspires to be a club.
Yeah.
Most of what I saw the last 2 days between councillors was kindergarten. It wasn't a club.
Was this one of your first experiences actually doing this?
It's the only time I've ever done it.
Really?
So
you're still in shock, is what you're saying?
No, I'm not in shock. I never got off the couch before because I knew how painful it was going to be. And when I got there, it proved to be every bit as painful as I expected.
Just what I thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you thought it was an important enough issue, you did get off the couch to go and talk.
Somebody had to.
Yeah.
Well, Dale, right after Mayor Ford come out and says, I want 10% across the board, okay? Not long after that, Metro Hall, who we fall under, has increased the work people in our building. We picked up on 2 more supervisors at $30-some an hour. We picked up more care service workers at $32 an hour.
But isn't that a good thing? More people to help the people in your residence?
No, we didn't need them.
Oh, you didn't need them?
It was running just fine without it.
That was David's suggestion.
It was running fine without it.
All right.
We know the director of Metro Hall has got to make cuts. So what do? You inflate it. And sure that it fails, then you got an excuse. Bad mistake to do. We're not foolish. We picked up on it.
Yeah.
You did something you shouldn't have done. It was running fine. Then you said, oh, I'm going to fix it. You didn't have to fix it. There was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Don't fix something that isn't broken.
Don't inflate it so it will fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a wrong way to go about it.